Hi, Zizaran here, and I wanted to make a bit of a different video. This might not be super popular, unironically, because it's very popular right now to criticize Path of Exile and talk about all the bad things. And I've been very critical of this league, and there's several videos, and we did a podcast that was fairly negative as well. So if you are looking for like negative things, go watch the other videos where I am negative, because I wanted to try making a video about what do I like about Path of Exile? Why am I playing the game? Aside from, streaming and that being my job. But like, what do I like about Path of Exile? And that's what this video is going to be. It's only going to be positives. You can call me a shill if you want, but I mean, sort of contradicted by the other like 6 negative videos I have up this league. But yeah, that's what this video is going to be about. And I would love from people watching this video to post positive things or things they do like about the game. Because if you're watching this video, even if you are unhappy about the current state of Path of Exile, or there's a lot of things you don't like, hopefully there's at least something you like about Path of Exile that keeps you playing and hoping that things get better and better over time. Hopefully. Hopefully you don't hate everything, or that would be weird. I just love a lot of the basics of Path of Exile. Like the gem system, being able to like change the way a gem works by like support gems, like the awakened gems they added and the alternate quality gems they added. There's so much we can do with it. We have so much choice there. And speaking of choice, there is a large amount of builds that work. You can do pretty much any build and do anything in the game right now. Obviously, that's like a little bit extreme because we've seen to the point where on hardcore somebody auto attacked Cyrus to death, or Lighty with his 2-hour tendril kill. But obviously what I mean is like there's so many builds that work. They might not be optimal, they might not be the strongest, there will always be a meta, but there's so many cool different builds we can do, and I really appreciate that. I think that's cool. Another thing I really like in Path of Exile is the currency system. I love the idea of the stuff that we're trading isn't just gold and silver. I really like that. I've always liked that. It used to be like the number one thing I would tell when people were like, what do you like the most about PoE? I'd be like, the currency system. It's so cool. Like the fact that you can sell these to other players and barter with them. Like you can like buy an item and I'll be like, I'll give you the kitchen sink. It's like, I'll give you 30 fusings, 1 insult, 62 chaos orbs, 16 blessed orbs. And they'll be like, yeah, I'll take it. I'll take it for this item. You can barter with the entire kitchen sink. And I love that. I think the bartering system in that way is really, really cool. The fact that the stuff that we are trading with, we can also use to craft. Like everything has a purpose. And I love that. Path of Exile has a lot of cool bosses. I think there is a large amount of bosses that are just very, very fascinating and interesting. Maven being like very, very different than a lot of the others. Like I think the memory game was a really cool thing to see. I know some people didn't like it, but I thought that was very interesting. So yeah, I would love to see like more intricate boss fights like that. It's obviously like hard to do because they want everything to be doable by one person. I think they've always said they don't want a boss that requires 2 people, but there's so many cool bosses. Big fan of like Uber, Ziri, Owl, even like some parts of Cyrus. I don't love everything of Cyrus, obviously, but the fight itself is pretty cool. I remember the first time I saw the meteor, and I was like, that is so fucking cool, and I'm gonna die to that. Still haven't, but there's just a lot of like cool bosses in Path of Exile. And as somebody who like Mephisto farming in Diablo 2, and I found a lot of the bosses there very cool. Like that's very important to me, like cool bosses. And that's whenever I'm the happiest, is whenever a new boss is released and I'm like, this is so cool. So very, very exciting. And the items in Path of Exile, I love so much of it. Like there's so much that's really cool. The fact that there are unique items or stats on rare items that can just completely enable or change a build. Like I think that's so cool. Like there are, like obviously on Soul Safan there will be some things you find and you're like, wow, I can do my build now. Like that aren't like, if those items weren't there, the build wouldn't exist. I think that's so exciting. Like just this league, I used the new like shield, the Maxu, okay, I can't pronounce that no matter how hard I try, but the Maxolotl shield, and that's just a build on its own. Like you can build it in different ways. You can build it with Ground Slam, probably Blade Fall, or Blade Blast, obviously. but there's so many like different things you can do around that, and it's always cool to see like other players approach. Sometimes you'll see like a really cool build by a streamer or by a player that like makes a video to showcase their build, and they're like, wow, that's really fucking cool. So I think like that is one of the things I really enjoy in PoE. Like, more so than a lot of other games, I do feel like we actually get to invent as a player, and sometimes it's like GGG are like, yeah, that's not intended. Like, you'll keep it for this thing. Maybe that was a little too strong. But I think that's really cool. I remember when somebody in my chat was like, Zizaran, have you tried the new helmet Light Poacher? And I was like, no, I haven't. Is it good? And they're like, well, it's just 4 chaos. Go buy one, put it on. That spiked very fast in price because obviously Light Poacher was such a cool unique. And I just love that like feeling of exploration. It's so amazing. And this league, they reworked a lot of the old things like betrayal and incursion and stuff like that. They got reworked, and I love the new betrayal system. I know a lot of people aren't a big fan of like unveiling stuff. I'm like, fuck that doesn't matter. Just love the new like unveiling is like a new like drop only thing, or it just through unveiled orbs like chaos orbs. So cool. Like, that added so much for me, and I love that. And obviously they made it easier to unveil faster as well, so it feels less tedious every league. And it's obviously even less tedious just because the items are exciting to unveil now because they could be really good. And there's just a large amount of stuff to do in Path of Exile. I really like that too. Obviously, as a player where my entire life is playing Path of Exile, I love how much choice I have. I can farm like Delirium maps, a high tier. I can be a boss farmer on hardcore. I can be a lab farmer. I just did 5 days of just doing lab, and it was one of the most fun things I've had. Loads of people were writing copium. I'm having so much fun. But for me, that was very reminiscent of Mephisto runs in Diablo 2, where I did the same run over and over again just to hope to get that like cha-ching jackpot at the end. So whenever I got an enchant worth like 5 or 6 exalts, that just felt great. And I was doing some of the enchants were very cheap. A lot of them were just 1x for people buying them. So I felt like I was like doing a fairly reasonably priced service and making bank off it. That was really, really enjoyable. I've very much had fun with that. I'm pretty much done with that now, I think. I'm gonna go play Summon Ringing Spirits. But yeah, there's just so much stuff to do, and like the amount of builds we have. Like, Summon Rating Spirits alone, right? There's like so many different ways you can build that. You can build it with like minion explosion, like literally having them die on purpose, and you can have them do damage. So, or you can have them in combination with other minions. And another thing, like there are loads of different endgames. Like I talked about, all like you can do bosses, you can do delve, you can do delirium. And this got even better with maps getting the map passives. I think the map passives were so cool. Like, it's such a cool idea, and I love to see how that evolves over time and how they make it better. I love it. There's so many things right now that are worth appreciating in Path of Exile. And I think it's very, very easy. I think it's easier to be negative. I think people are more likely to go on Reddit and be like, fuck, I just died to this, or oh, I'm not enjoying this. Do you guys feel the same? I think that's more common to do than go to Reddit and be like, I love the shit out of this part. Like, I think it's easier to be negative about stuff. So that's why I felt like I'm seeing so much negativity. I feel like I've put out a lot of negative videos or criticizing videos, and I just wanted a video with just, let's talk about the things we do like. And I would love to see other content creators make a similar video with just like, what are the things they like about Path of Exile? Because that's sometimes not the like, it doesn't get the most views. It doesn't get the most like, you know, angry people view stuff. So I don't know. That's what I wanted to make. I would love to hear from people watching this video. What are the things that you like in Path of Exile? Even if it's just one. Because hopefully there's at least one. If not, you might be needing a new game. But yeah, again, that's like the main things I love about Path of Exile. There are more as well, but these were like the main things that I thought of. It's a very special game to me. Just and let's not forget how often we get content. Like, it might be a little rough on link starts, but we get content every 3 months. That's amazing. That is amazing. Like, we're very spoiled in that sense with the amount of often updates. But for me as a content creator, where my living is tied to like if the game is popular or not, Very, very appreciate that. Love how often it gets content updates. But yeah. Let's I don't know how this video is gonna go down. I don't know if people are gonna call me a shill or not. That happens a lot. But I mean, I'm pretty critical. I feel like most of my videos this leave him kind of negative, so I don't know. Have I saved myself? I don't know. But either way, hope you guys liked the video. Sub if you like it, but more importantly, try to die less than I do.